Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video. So glad to see everyone here for another one. And by the way, today's going to be a special video and we're going to talk about what I like to call financial automation. So guys, before we go ahead and jump into today's topic, go ahead and give me a like for the video as it helps the channel grow. Make sure you go ahead and subscribe to the channel and turn on your notifications so that way you're notified whenever we upload new videos to the channel. And lastly, of course, share this video with a family member or a friend, because I'll be honest with you guys, I'm about to give you some really awesome information, and most people don't do this. So you want to share this video with as many people as possible, because of course you want them to be financially successful, as most people are not. And it took me a long time to figure this one out. So I hope you guys enjoy this gem. So I was on a financial coaching call the other day, and I was talking to this person, and they were going over, all the things that they want to do and what they want to accomplish in a particular year financially. And we were going over so many things, and it occurred to me that they had a lot of things that they want to accomplish. They were spending so much time on what those little things were. It's sort of like it was just so much going on, and they were trying to describe everything, and they're like, wait, but I want to do this, and I got to do this, and I got to do this, and I just don't know where to start. And there was just so much going on. And finally I just stopped them and I said, hey, can you believe that I accomplish a lot of what you're saying? And more importantly, I do that with, I don't know, guys, honestly, I probably spend maybe 3 to 4 hours per month doing all this stuff. So now the question is, well, how is it that I'm able to accomplish so much from a financial perspective and only dedicate about 3 to 4 hours per month? And the thing that I want to teach you guys today now is financial automation. So most people don't realize this, but the world is just a system. And there's a lot of systems that are in place in order to make things work. I'll give you an example. Let's say that you are going to go wash your car. And the reason why this analogy is in my head is because I literally just got the car washed. But let's say you want to go ahead and get your car washed. There's a couple things that have to happen, of course. First thing is you got to pay for the car wash. And the first system in that car washing process that we just talked about is that payment system, right? What type of car wash do you want to get? Do you want to get like the full package that has all the soaps and the all the things that they put in there, like tire shine and special coat wax and all this other stuff that I have no idea about, right? You can go ahead and get that top wash, or you can go as basic as possible and you can just get a regular wash, meaning you just throw some soap on the car, throw some water, and that's the end of it. You don't get all the other features, right? And there's a couple of things in between, but when you start to pick out what package you want and you pay for it, you ultimately, right, go through the gate lifts up, and then you go ahead and you go through that car wash. Now, when you get to the point where you're about to wash the car, of course, the system already has an idea of what you paid for. It's calibrated in order to give you the package that you pay for. So, meaning it's an automated car wash. There's a bunch of stuff in there as far as everything that's available, and the system will only put in the things that you need in order to get what you paid for, right? And by the end of it, you have a fully washed car. And I think that financial success is no different than that. You have to set up a system, right? And when we talk about what is it that you're looking to accomplish, right? You put in these goals. You say, hey, I want to retire. If you got kids, I want to be able to send them to college and pay for it. Some of the other things that you can think about are, hey, I just want my bills paid every single month and I don't have to think about it. These are all different packages per se of the car wash, or in this particular case, packages of this whole financial system that we're about to put in. And then afterwards, once you're done with that, you set up the systems in place in order to make sure that this automatically gets done. So that way, over time, you can go ahead and make sure that you're dedicating very little time as possible, meaning you're having to do the work, and the system is automatically doing the work for you and taking care of that. All right, so analogies are great and all, but let's start talking about how this system works in our household, so that way you can see what I'm talking about. So first things first on the list, right? let's take a look at your paycheck, right? And if you get paid, most people have a W-2, meaning they work a full-time job and they get paid through that. So when we talk about we want to retire and we want to have something in the bank to take care of us, so that way when we get to our old age, we have something to, fall back on. At your job, right, you want to make sure that you're adjusting your take-home pay so that way you have money that's automatically taken out of your paycheck every month and goes directly into a savings account, which really that savings account can be a 401k for most people. There's other different forms of accounts, right? There's a 401b, there's a TSP, there's multiple things, but for now, let's just say a 401k because that's what most people have access to. All right, so retirement is taken care of before money ever comes into our house, or basically our bank account that we have in order to receive direct deposits. Now, by the time that you get your paycheck, of course, taxes will be taken out. We just talked about retirement. And also as well, you're going to have any benefits that are associated with that pay. And what I mean by associated with that pay, I'm talking about any benefits you sign up through work. So most people have health insurance through their jobs. Most people have dental, all different benefits in order to take advantage of the things that are available to you. And there's a bunch of other stuff that we won't get into, but it gives you some perspective that of course you have benefits that are taken out. And that again, all gets taken out before your paycheck ever comes home. So that's the first part of the automation, right? And that's how you automatically get those items taken care of. Now, the next part, after all that gets taken care of, the money actually goes direct deposit into a bank account. And it sits there, and what do we do from here? Now, back to that list that we were talking about of all the things that we were looking to accomplish, right? We talked about retirement, but guess what? Retirement is taken care of because you've already contributed before the money ever hits your account. And I'm talking about either your checking or your savings account, whatever that looks like. Now, remember some of the other items on the list, you can start to think about, hey, what do my bills look like? I want to make sure that they get paid. What does it look like in order to buy a car, right? All these different things, every little financial goal that you have, this is where now you start pulling from your bank account and you start making sure that you are saving automatically for those things. Now, I'll give you an example. When we talk about bills, because everybody has them, and this is the biggest thing, one of the reasons why I tell you guys all the time to work on your budget, you want to understand what that looks like, because once you have an idea of how much you're spending per month, you can then start to say, okay, I'm going to carve out a specific amount of money to make sure that these bills get paid automatically through automatic bill pay. And this is something that I find that people argue with me on our coaching calls tooth and nail. And by the way, guys, I almost forgot to tell you, if you're interested in one of those coaching calls, I'll put a link in the description, and also as well, I'll pin it to the top of the chat. But again, people always fight me tooth and nail about, they don't want none of their bills on auto pay because they're afraid that the companies are going to take out more money than what they're supposed to, or they don't want to, have anybody to have access to their account. And really what they're doing is they're actually eating up their most valuable asset, which is your time. This is part of that automated system that I'm keep talking to you guys about. I don't spend any time paying bills because they're automatically paid through auto pay. And because I keep a detailed budget over the years and I know about how much it takes for our family to live on, I don't even think about it anymore. It's just bills get paid, the money's automatically there because we carved it out. And it's just one less thing to think about in our busy lives that we have. So you guys have to make sure that you are leveraging this feature, because really it's about saving time, having less stress, and utilizing that in places where it makes sense to generate more money, or build on skills to generate you more money, or do other things that are more important than just paying bills. I can't tell you how many times I coach people and they spend all their time just paying bills because they don't want to put anything on auto pay. Don't fall into that trap. Put your stuff on auto pay so that way you make sure you never ever get a late fee, which is another thing that's crazy. I see it all the time in people's budgets. Your bills will automatically get paid on time. You can take your energy and focus in other areas that are more important. So there's 3 benefits of that auto pay. So now that your bills are all paid, retirement's all set, your benefits are all set, what's the next thing, right? You start going down the list and saying, hey, I talked a little bit before about I want a car, for example. Well, how much are you looking to spend for a car, right? What are you looking to drive? What does that roughly cost? Now you can start to say to yourself, hey, well, if I want to spend X, right, in what time frame do I want to buy that car? And then all you have to do is say, hey, if I'm going to spend X amount of dollars, you divide it by in what time frame you're looking to buy that car. That tells you now how much money you need to save per month. And now you can do an automatic transfer from your checking account over into your savings account, and you can save for that car and buy it cash and not have any car payments. And again, this is like basic 101 here, but that's just part of that automation system that I keep talking to you about. So that way you are achieving your financial goals with very minimal effort put into it. And honestly, guys, we can go down the list, but you want to make sure that every dollar is allocated in the manner that I keep talking to you about, all the way to the point where you get to zero. And if you're starting to notice that you can't get to your financial goals because you're running out of money and the system's not working for you, that means either two things. You need to decrease how much you're spending on personal items, meaning, hey, rent or your bills, maybe get a cheaper car, whatever that looks like. Or the other thing you can do is make more money. Can you get a second job? Can you upskill and get better skills, higher paying skills that will get you a better opportunity in order to make more money? Those are the basics. And then over time, you're going to start to see that as this system works for you, this financial system that I'm talking about, less time is going to be spent on worrying about money and more time is going to be spent on the things that matter to you the most, whether that's family, whether that's growing your career, whether that's growing a business, whatever that looks like. And one of the things that I was so fortunate to do early on in life, in my teens and in my 20s, is learn this financial system. I thought I uncovered something that was, this new secret to life. But funny enough, actually, I read a book a couple years ago, and the book is by, I believe the author's name is Ramit Sethi, I think is how you pronounce that last name. I think the book is called I Will Teach You to Be Rich. Anyways, I'll go ahead and put a link in the description for the book if you're interested in reading it. But he talked about it in that book. And the crazy part about it was, by the time I had figured out all this financial system by myself in my early teens, about early 20s, somewhere around there, he actually wrote about it a decade before, because the book was, obviously a couple years old at that point. I was just like, man, you think you figured out something new in this world, but in reality, there was a lot of people that came before us. They figured it out, and through their hard work and falling into the same traps, they decided to write a book, leave the answers for you, and you can leverage it in order to not fall into the same mistakes or get ahead in life that much faster than they did. And so that is another lesson that I'm going to give you today, besides the financial system that I just talked to you about. Guys, you have to put more time into reading books. Books are nothing but clues to all the successes that other people have, and they put it down there for you, and it's like a map, right? It's just, all these books are full of treasures. The sad part is that we put a lot more time in trying to figure out who got thrown off the island in some stupid TV show than it is reading these phenomenal books that will get you so far ahead in life. All right, guys, so that'll do it for this video today. I hope this information really, really helps you out. This information is what we leverage in order to get ahead financially compared to most people. Again, we put very, very little time, and we leverage this system in order to make sure that hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars are going into the areas that we care about the most. And that is honestly how we're able to just get really far ahead. We just make sure that we automate everything, right? We're not interested in spending so much time understanding the financials than it is to understand the areas that are most important to us. Like, for example, you're going to have to start learning about taxes when you get to certain levels. You're going to have to start learning about investments. You're going to have to learn about so many things that you don't want your time bogged down with the little nitty-gritty things, such as how do I figure out how do I pay my bill on time? Most people get stuck in that. And again, that's why I keep saying, rely on this financial system, utilize your budget in order to drive that financial automation that I just talked about. And more importantly, if you really need help getting this financial system up and running from the ground up, there's a lot of people that I help out all the time in order to do that. So again, there'll be links in the description where you can schedule your call with me. Or again, I'll put it in the chat. I'll pin it to the top. You can book a time. And might I add, my calendar gets filled up very, very quickly. So please, please, please grab a spot as soon as you can. So if you found this information to be very helpful, go ahead and give me a like for the video. Again, make sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on your notifications so that way you're notified whenever we upload new videos to the channel. And of course, lastly, share the video with a family member or friend so that way they can get their financial automation system up and running. I gotta head out, guys, but I will see you all in the next video.